Time again for Top 13. This is Bear Essentials and I am Bear Byers. And the question we have to ask ourselves is who's going to rise week 31, year 2, for the week September 28th through October 1st to number 1. But starting off, we've had 14 people on the 14 player creators on the countdown. And there was a tie. Actually, the last 5 people all had 15 points. So tied at 13th was DJ SAS. And he did an excellent job like he always does with coverage every day of his dailies and with a few streams. Jacob R24 had a few builds, a few weekly vendor resets, and a few other things to get his 15 points. So congratulations, Jacob R24. Shadow Gaming had a guide, a few videos to get himself up here on this countdown as well. So congratulations, Shadow Gaming, and he had some dailies too. He missed a few, but not like DJ SAS, which very rarely misses a day. Shadow missed 2 days this week. Pure Prime was the tiebreaker, had a guide video, a few build videos, and a few vendor resets to get himself up here in 11th place. Again, all these guys had 15 points, solidly no stranger to the countdown. Now at 16 points we had a 3-way tie, and with the tie breaks, Nothing But Skills ends up down here in 10th place. Nothing But Skills has made the countdown the last few weeks after many months of sporadic existence on the top 13, so it seems like he may be here to stay for a while on making some videos. Lust for Power again with 16 points, had a guide video, a few vendor resets, 3 build videos, and he ends up here at 16 points. So great job, Lust for Power. At 8th place, Running Butcher with 4 guide videos. Lands all his videos were the build videos. Trying to help players, especially with some of the builds that Running Butcher was showing to use in the raids and or mostly the summit. So congratulations, Running Butcher. Now also below 20 points was KAMIKAZE Van Doom. Now we know DJ SAS just had a phenomenal second quarter, but was KAMIKAZE Van Doom's first quarter that did a great job up here, and he earned himself a spot up here in 7th place. So congratulations, KAMIKAZE Van Doom, with 17 points. At 18 points, just one step ahead, was Sergeant Graybeard, and he is tied with the next guy. Sergeant Graybeard had 3 build videos, a guide video, and a vendor reset for the week, and that's how he ended up here. Great job, Sergeant Graybeard. So check him out. Very solid content creator. Misses a few weeks every once in a while, but this guy tied with him with 18 points. Hasn't missed a week at all in quarter number 3. In fact, of all the people on the countdown, him and our 4th place guy is the only 2 I think that have made the countdown every week. Maybe Running Butcher has, but he's usually down there at a lesser spot. Patrick Wolf's been 6th place or better every week this quarter. This is the 5th week of this quarter already. Anytime Gaming ended up with a whole 30 points, a big discrepancy, big jump from 5th place to 4th place. So everybody check out Anytime Gaming. He's consistently putting out some great content and a number of videos each week, very consistently building his brand and his name here in the Division 2 series. Now, as for yours truly, I missed the countdown 2 of the last 3 weeks, but find myself here at 3rd place with 32 points this week. Really awesome job with this series each week and the bonus that comes with it. A few build videos, a few gear videos, all that adds up to with some vendor resets, even some dailies in there for the weekend. I ended up with 32 points, but it wasn't enough to beat the next 2 people. GC Rock outdid me by 1 point, 33 points for GC Rock. Totally hard work here. And who's that leave at number 1? Now, the last few weeks and this quarter has been dominated by Gamey Daddy. So it looks like Gamey Daddy's going to be back on top again, huh? Nope. Gamey Daddy only had 14 points. Actually was 1 point outside the countdown in what would have been 15th place. First place is done by Man of War. And this is not his first time being first on the countdown, and I suspect it won't be his last. Congratulations, Man of War. So, trying to keep this short and sweet, right down to the countdown so you can see who's making videos for each and every one of you. Please leave any comments, good or bad, what you want to see in this series. Again, we're trying to get major sponsorship so we can give away some good rewards at the end of the season for these guys working hard to be up here and get some rewards. So I want you, if you would, check each one of these guys out, their content. Some people will tell you that content creators just copy each other, that one's better than the other, and I'm telling you, there's so many different styles. There's people that cover the DZ, there's people that cover conflict, there's people that work on the new systems like the Summit, there are people that work on the seasons, there's people like DGA, SAS, and Shadow Gaming that do give you dailies every week, every day, to kind of help people along that don't have a lot of time to go, well, what do I got to do today? So again, each and every one of these guys deserve some support. It doesn't cost a thing to subscribe to each and every one of these. Now, before I go, I want to kind of remind you, some of you ask from time to time, what are some of your favorite great content creators? And this week, some of us see on the King Macho, Big Goose Egg. I hope his son's doing better, but he's been having real world problems. Armor up! So I'm praying that he's better than King Macho. He's back to his great builds. Identity and Cold Boy, they usually crank out their 1 or 2 videos in this week.
Agent down.
Had 5 points, and you know the bottom agent is nearby. Had 1 commentary this week. So that is the countdown.
Vital signs critical. Agent down.
The week end of September and the very beginning of October up to October 4th for week 31. Tune in next week. Hopefully we'll have this cranked out on a regular basis on Friday is the goal. But there's over 300 people to make sure that I include the very best here at the top 13. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you subscribe. I hope you support the channel. Again, that way we can give out some big rewards at the end of the season. Before we go, I want to address one thing. This is Veterans Day, and I want to give a big shout out to some personal veterans that I've served with, and one of the biggest ones, he died in a car accident. My very best friend, Jeff Lowe, decided that he was going to go to the recruiters and follow in his footsteps of his dad that was an aircraft mechanic in Vietnam. And he wanted just somebody to go down to the recruiter with him, and that's how I got into delayed enlistment in the Air Force with my best friend Jeff Lowe. He fell asleep at a wheel going back to his base when he was only 20 years old. Died while he was still on active duty from a car accident. But there's a lot of other people, retired sergeant. I think he was a tech sergeant or master sergeant when he retired. David Carr. My ex-wife served 20 years and was tech sergeant when she retired. First, my drill instructor. Everybody remembers the drill instructor when they're in the military, but I want to give a shout out, and he's going to be our featured veteran later on in some of the productions. I have found my old drill instructor. I ran into him again about 9 years after basic training when he was a senior master sergeant and I was a staff sergeant at Bolling Air Force Base in downtown DC. And we got to have a few discussions about how life was. And I kind of discovered his career. He was always the best of the best and the top of the top from the beginning of his career to his end. And now his son is a lieutenant colonel, or may even been promoted to full bird colonel. So there's 1,000 other people that I've worked with in the active duty and Air Force Reserves along the way, from Chief Master Sergeant to the Air Force to people that were on my sports teams when I won Air Force District of Washington Sportsman of the Year in 1990, or when I was Sportsman of the Year, not runner-up, in 1989. Many base teams I was on in volleyball and softball and Alaska and Colorado. The list goes on, so I want to give some shouts out. So if any of you that here in Division 2 have served, please let me know, and I would like to mention your name as well. Thank you for your service, each and every one of you. This is a generation that is all volunteer military, and some of the over 90% of the people never serve, so they don't understand the sacrifice. And I'm not just talking about possibly dying in combat or going into places where it can give you some long-term disability from hearing loss or cancer or something like that, or the trauma of PTSD, but so many people in the military are away from their families or their wives or children, and it causes a lot of issues. Me and my ex-wife, when we were both in the military, I got stationed in Alaska for a year while she was stationed in Korea, and the marriage did not survive. And there are so many people in the military that are like that. But so there's many issues of growing up in the military, being involved in the military, and I want to give a shout out to you spouses and even children of active duty members that have had to travel around and made your sacrifices as well growing up, that you don't have that hometown your whole life kind of build. So I salute you, each and every one of you as well. Here in Division, I would like to thank KAMIKAZE Von Doom. I know he was in the military in the Air Force. Longhorn, the comedian, served in the Army. I touched that in another video of his descendants of General Davis and General Davis. And there are many more that have been and graced in our clan, the U.S. Army Infantry. My son was a combat veteran in Afghanistan. And again, being Veterans Day, I want to salute each and every one of you. Thank you for your service.